Hello, and welcome to your Wednesday Word of Grace. It's so good to be with you after our Thanksgiving break. I hope many of you had wonderful celebrations of true gratitude, and I hope that they were not one-time affairs, but a whole life experience for you and those you love about truly giving thanks for all the things that we have instead of focusing on the things that we don't. We are now into the Advent season. And here at Mills River, where I, Rennie, am the pastor, we are using this Advent time to move toward a different kind of Christmas. And part of what that means for us and where we started in all of that this past Sunday has to do with expecting miracles. One of the hardest parts of the life of faith is waiting. We don't like to wait. Nobody likes to wait. But waiting is so much of what God asks God's people to do. Waiting is an integral part of being the people of God, because waiting requires us to place our trust in the promises of God, to believe that God is still at work, even when we don't necessarily see it, or when the promises haven't yet been fulfilled. But that is what we're called to do. But it's not a waiting that is like the pining in a romance novel, waiting for a lover thrown across a couch, nor is it a waiting of twiddling thumbs or boredly playing a game on our phones until our name is called for that next appointment slot. No, our waiting is a much harder kind of waiting. Our waiting is the preparation kind of waiting. It's the kind of waiting that we do when we're expecting someone to come over for a visit. When we've got family or friends or others coming to see us. It's the preparations that we make in anticipation of their arrival. And most of those preparations for that kind of visit are physical preparations. They're cleaning the house, washing the dishes, doing the laundry, making up the beds, making sure we've got the right food items that our guests particularly like or love, making sure that we've got a good schedule in mind and some activities for us to do together. But in this season of Advent, as much as we have some of those physical preparations to take care of, getting ready for celebrating Christmas, not only for ourselves, but for a whole community of people and the people that the God revealed in Jesus Christ care most about, it's also a time for us to prepare our spirits, to prepare our hearts, to truly receive the gift that is coming to us. And that preparation begins for us with once again being willing to believe that miracles still happen. See, part of the problem with waiting, part of the problem with going through our preparations is that we often get into a rut or a mindset that there are certain things that we do, and these are the things we do, and these produce certain results. But as we well know, in this time in our lives, things are not the way they were. And the things that we used to do to get ready are not things we need to do anymore. And some of the things that we need to do are things we're not used to doing. And so now is a great time for us to once again do something that we're not quite used to. And that is believe the miracles that still happen. Believe the things that God is still doing through Jesus Christ here in our world. It's being willing to see the miracles that surround us all the time. The miracle of the kid who finally solves that problem they've been working on at school all semester, who finally understands the lesson, or like in my case, who finally understands that you need to use a comma before an introductory phrase or clause. It's also the miracle of the addict who stays sober for a day. It's the miracle of the kind word and smiling eyes offered to the person who's been tasked with making sure everyone is wearing a mask when some people really don't want to. It's the miracle of still being able to stay connected to friends and family through technology when we can't be with them in person. It's the miracle of people willingly giving up things that they care so much about to ensure the safety and happiness of others who they may never meet. It's the generosity of a congregation who gives and gives and gives to children and senior adults in piles of presents that represent even bigger piles of care and love. These are just some of the miracles that I myself have witnessed in the last month. These are just some of the miracles that God in Jesus Christ is still doing right now. And if we're going to receive the gift of Jesus, then part of our preparation has to be learning to see and believe in the miraculous possibilities of what God has done, is doing, and will do. And so here's your word of grace today. God wants to do a miracle in and through you right now. You may be thinking, well, I don't have anything to offer. Oh, I'm stuck at home. I don't know what I can do in this pandemic or with the resources I have. Surely I'm not that extraordinary. And you know what the word of grace is there? No, you're not that extraordinary. But we serve an extraordinary God. And that extraordinary God wants to do a miracle in and through you. So our prayer focus for today is going to be you asking God, what's the miracle you want to do in and through me? And maybe the miracle is not actually one that you are at the center of, or that God does directly through you. Maybe your part in the miracle is to witness it, to see it, and then tell other people about it. Because that's also a huge part of what it means to be the people of God. The psalmist reminds us, and the book of Acts bears out, that wherever God shows up, signs and wonders of miraculous things accompany the good news of God's message. And then there are people who didn't experience the miracle themselves, but who saw it and went and had to tell others about the miraculous change, the wondrous new thing that God was doing in the world. Maybe that's the miracle that God wants for you, to be a witness, to be a teller of the wondrous story of a God who is still at work, still changing lives right here in this congregation and around the world. So, friends, take time today to look for a miracle. And where you see it, where you find it, if you find it in yourself, if you find it happening through you or God calling you to do that thing, then go, do it, be that miracle. Or if you see it in someone else, if you see it somewhere else, if you see the miracle happening, then step up, step out, call all of your friends, FaceTime them, Zoom them, text them, do whatever you have to do to get in touch with them and say, hey, I saw a miracle today. I saw Jesus moving here. I saw God doing a new thing there. I saw God change someone's life, or God is changing my life today, and I just wanted you to know about it. That, dear friends, is how we prepare to receive the true world and individual life changing of Jesus Christ as he comes to us once again as a baby. as we continue to move through this season. I hope you'll continue to join us in exploring a different kind of Christmas. You can find wonderful resources for how to do that and share with our entire congregation in doing that on our website, www.millsriverumc.org/Advent. I hope you'll also consider joining us for in-person worship Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock. You can find information about that on our website as well, /worship. You do need to pre-register, so please take a moment, do that. We'd love to have you be with us in person. But if you're not ready for that yet, you can still find us online on Facebook or YouTube. But friends, God is doing a miraculous thing. God's still showing up in our lives, and I want you to be a part of it. Another way that you can join us is by participating in our Bible study, which is happening on Monday and Wednesday nights. Our Monday session this week happened already, but if you haven't been able to participate in that, or you've been wanting to go deeper in conversations about God and what God is doing in the world, or how we can have a different kind of Christmas, I hope you'll join us tonight at 7 o'clock on Zoom. You can also find the links for that on the Advent page on our website. As always, friends, I love you so much, and I miss seeing your faces. But I'm so glad to know that we serve a God who continues to move in all our lives. And if you have a miracle that you want to share and you can't think of anyone else to share it with, pick up the phone and give me a call. Shoot me an email or a text. I'd love to hear what God is doing in your life today. Peace and blessings, friends. I'll talk to you soon.